Ekonene. So kuna vile on ni Wednesday tulibaki tumedrop interview. Interview ilikuwa na msa anaitwa Patrick Osoi. Na kauja watch your interview end uicheki because of course nilikuwa nimeput my Prophet Habakkuk hat on. Lakini wacha tucheki a few things that happened now on Thursday. So on Thursday Standard Digital walikuwa report ex-disciplined forces officer Patrick Nyambaka Osoi and former prisons officer Jackson Kihara alias Cop Shakur will remain in custody until August 7th, 2025. Kahawa Law Courts has directed. So kauna shindwa kuliendaje, hasa kuna vile walikuwa arrested. Lakini hata before wakuwa arrested, kuna vile tulikuwa have like a small, I don't know if I should call it an argument, but what may have like a small discussion. What may have now Osoi, and I was telling him that first of all he'd be arrested, but apart from him being arrested, kuna like one of the things that I'd also talked about was just letting him know that anything that he's trying to teach the Kenya police, they already know. Because I feel like sometimes siwagana hii kitu ile inakagani kama we are telling people things they don't know. Like I'm the sort of person who does not believe in telling people not to commit crime, because you should not commit crime. I don't need to tell you not to. So kuna kugana wasi like wacha tuambie my youth jo ache crime jo, my youth crime ni bad, #crime ni bad, fosoko paloko. No one needs to tell you these things, man. These are things that you're supposed to know. So I know the Kenya police know that the things that they do against Kenyan citizens are wrong, yet they keep doing them. They don't do them because they are. I always say that anyone who thinks that they don't know that whatever they're doing is wrong is calling them stupid, and I don't think the Kenya police are stupid. So this is part of the conversation to have. Ile uboyel kwa nabonga juu if the cops are sent to pick him up, what would happen?
In defiance, I'll tell you the fact is that even if a police officer is sent today to come and arrest me and to take me, trust me, they would think twice, because I am part of that. So the fact is,
why would they think twice? I don't think they
why
would.
Let me tell you, my brother,
they are more loyal to
it is
Lagat
not,
and more loyal to.
It's not about royal. They are just
This is
yes.
They are more loyal to Lagat, more loyal to Kanja than you. They'd not think twice. I think it would be. You would be very wrong to think that Kenya police. Maybe umeishi US too long, Buddha.
3 years.
You know who are dealing with.
Ni 3 years too.
See, tumekuwa hapa hiyo 3 years, and I can comfortably tell you these people don't have a conscience. They don't care. If they were sent to arrest you, they'd arrest you. Yes, so this is what tuko tunabonga na yeye. Of course, he was arrested, and if you watch the conversation, one of the things that you'll notice is when we're having the conversation, I kept telling him that I did not like the whole idea of what is it called, like having this sort of uniform and then posting pictures with guns, najua, and because it looks like you're provoking the government. And one thing that I like saying that we need to understand that the government has the monopoly of violence. These states at a place kuna the Second Amendment hapa wasona own weapons ni makarao, soldiers, na kama si hivyo ni the rich, and those rich wanakuwaga above the law. The rest of us sisi tunakuwaga tunacheza hapa chini na cheki. Apart from rich, of course, kuna wezi, na wezi wenyewe wanajuaga wakipatikana wanabaki wameishia. So this ended up happening, and now he's been arrested. He's supposed to be arraigned in court next week on Thursday. I don't know how that will go. Do I think that he should have been arrested? No, I don't think he should have been arrested. But one of the things that I also know is you can't provoke this present government, najua. Yes, and so unashinda, kuna wase walikuwa wamejam na mimi sana ikikam to hii interview. I think I should go through a few of the comments, because I think people were misunderstanding me, and I think kuna vile wase maybe we should understand the concept of a podcast. A podcast is not like mainstream media. This is a place where the guest also has to be challenged, and kama anabonga kitu yote ile ni nonsense kabisa, undabaki umetry kumcorrect kumpeleka hivi. So na nikicheki kitu kama nini, ilikuwa ni Dorcas Ratem walikuwa mwafu naleta guest alafu utaki ongezi, niliacha kuongea. Like if you go and check, is just that at some point ilikuwa inabidi lazima nibaki nimemwambia niko na baki nimemcorrect. Then kuna msalisema Mwaf Loki anataka kila mtu support Mwaraga, alafu Mwaf working hard against the same change he's been yearning for. Alafu I'm a fan of Mwaf, but right now I can't tell which side he's taking. You are not what you preach. So this is what I was trying to understand. Like, what do you want? Wasanataka niseme nini? Mnataka niwaambiage kile mnataka kusikia? Yani, so umsel kwa amekuja. Was I supposed to just tell him that, you know what, you can go around brandishing guns and showing the government that you are ready to take it to the next level and nothing is going to happen to you? I don't know. I actually don't know. Mi sijui Wakenya mnataka gani jo? Mnataka this for the few of you wale mnataka sijui ni mbembeleze ama nifanye kitu kayo. Niko namwambia tu right. Unachiki mpaka nikimwenjoy ati ameishi US for so long that's why anafikiria vitu zitaenda hivyo. Cause history yake ya US pia imekuwa a little bit controversial cause kuna msee mmoja ule anaitwa Kurgat alibaki ameniambia zio msezi kwa ni soja nini alafu I think nikabaki nimerushia the same question nikauliza Mr. Okeno Muranga akaniambia the uniform that he saw the guy wearing showed that he was a soldier. So I don't know what's happening, but for this I'll take his word for it that he's a soldier. And yes, kuna hiyo. I think pia tukiendelea kwa nini kwa the comments that are happening, wacha niangalie jo. Kuna msengine anasema haikuwa ni bound yeru kusema Mwaf sounds dismissive and opinionated. Unaita mtu interview and you're still in your head thinking your idea of politics is superior. Damn, I don't know, man, because I think it depends with the approach that you watch an interview with. If you're watching an interview and the idea that you have is the questionnaire ama the interviewer is going to ask things and let answers that you love go through, then I'm not the guy, because mimi mtu anaweza kama kupatia that answer that makes you warm at night, I'm still going to challenge it if I think it's bullshit. And that's what was happening with this guy. So kuna mseta hapa pia alikuwa ameandika ni Jeno Kungu alikuwa ameandika the guest needs to be disciplined and give the interviewer time to ask questions. So I guess it depended with who you are thinking about and what you wanted from this interview. That's what we are getting. But I keep saying one of the things because kuna mseta alikuwa ameandika DCI subscribe inamaanisha na wakia DCI. I don't know if that means that this government that we are dealing with right now, you have to understand it. And this is something that I've been saying for a very long time, and this has gotten me in trouble because I never tell people like kile nataka kusikia. Kuna swali kwa niambia Ruto atakuwa resign by when, naambia that's not going to happen. If you remember ile time tulibongaga na uboya nani na Ndura Waroinge alibaki predict that Ruto would resign by end of June. Did that happen? That never happened. And with that I put on my Prophet Habakkuk hat on and I ended up saying that would never happen, and it didn't happen. It's not because I'm what, but it's one of those things that I normally say. I normally study patterns, and when you study patterns you can know. There is no Kenyan government official who would ever resign just based on that civilians have lost their lives. It's a very hard thing to swallow, but upper Kenya, the reality is they don't care. They don't care about sisi. We are just taxpayers, and as soon as tumelipa tax hakuna mtu anajali kama utaishi ama hutaishi. So that's the reality of the situation. So this ended up happening, and of course around the time this was happening, Murkomen had also on the other side talked about this uniform thing. And remember the interview Osoi, one of the things that I told him was that the government was going to say that they're trying to overthrow the government ama act in a way that's not constitutional. And what did Murkomen say baadaye? So kuna mseta kwa like mwafu najuaje kile government inaenda kusema, cause najua this is the reason why tukienda shule kwa tunafundishagwa mathematics zile patterns. Na ukipatiwa ka circle kamoja kamekaa hivi, then circle nyingine imekaa hivi, then ulizo predict the next circle. It was just pattern recognition. And I think I've said this before. My big brother, like nikule bro mufuata mabro wili ma twins, and one of them once told me that the only thing that separates humans from animals is pattern recognition. So it's all about pattern recognition. So as soon as I saw that them on I think I saw them on Monday, then I called him up on Kuja Tuesday. As soon as I saw that, I knew these guys would be in trouble. And so wacha tusikiza Murkomen.
There are some characters whom I saw online that they are calling themselves forces fighting police brutality, and yet they were carrying guns and dressing using jungle attire, trying to intimidate the people of Kenya. I want to tell this: all police officers who are out of service, all military officers who are out of service, they have a greater responsibility than a civilian, and we will put them under very strict surveillance, because those are persons who are highly trained by the government of Kenya on the use of arms. And once they start threatening the public and threatening government, we consider that subversive activities.
So nachekio pale ukisikiza kina Osoi, at no point did they threaten the government, at no point did they, but it's all about optics. The minute you show up and you go to a gun range, umeshikilia gun kwa nini? Like, what are you trying to nini? What are you trying to put across? So this is trouble that I think they could have avoided, and it ended up happening. So ni vile musemaga, I can never stop an adult from doing what an adult wants to do, but I can give my opinion because I'm a podcaster. So do I agree with the whole military thing? No, I don't agree with it. Did I expect the consequences? Yes, I expected them. Were they threatening the government? No, they were not. But wacha tumalizie.
I'm glad that the DCI has investigated, arrested, charged some of them, and must be dealt with. We know they are establishing a military wing of their political activities. We will not allow that. Let me be very clear. Those officers who are doing politics in office or exiting office to go and carry out criminal activities must be dealt with firmly. Second,
called criminals, they're being called people who have started a military wing and all that nonsense. They've not done that. So that happened. But now, sasa wako ndani, watakuwa ndani for like a whole week. Msengina anaitwa Hiram. I don't know what's going to happen to him. And yeah, hopefully he stays safe out there. Do I think they could have done this thing in a different way? Yes, I think they could have done it in a different way. But it is what it is. Tukitoka hapo, kuna history moja nilikuwa nacheki jana, and the story was on Citizen TV. So the story was about a certain lady who works at Harambee House, and this lady yuko disabled. So since she's disabled, kumekuwa na these repairs that are happening at Harambee House. If you've watched Iko Nini long enough, umejua. I complained about this when it happened, like when they announced that they were going to do these repairs. I did a whole rant about it, and I was ranting, asking like, why do countries in the third world feel like repairing an office is a priority? I've never seen the reason why that is. Najua, like as long as the roof is not leaking, you don't need to repair it. And remember, there was a headline that they'd set aside 2.3 billion for a facelift office. 2.3 billion. Don't forget, Kenyatta National Hospital has not been repaired since time immemorial. So Kenyatta National Hospital is staying as it is, but we are busy repairing offices and putting comfortable seats. And apart from comfortable seats, unajua, like stocking fridges with beverages and doing all that nonsense that any decent society would never do. Hii ni kitu moja watu wajuagi jo. Hizi makantri zimeendelea, hakunaga ujinga. Kuna interview fulani ilifanyika ya mother anaitwa Michelle. When Michelle was talking about how outside the mills, the official mills zao zile ziko catered for wakiwa White House, anything else that they spend on, they have to use money. In America, America is like, I don't know how many times richer than Kenya. They have to use money. Here, as a third world country, we even pay for MPs' entertainment allowance. Why are you supposed to entertain you? We saizi ya mdosi wako mwambie unataka entertainment allowance, because I think every time usemaga hivi kuna raia zinakuwa pale mwafu, kwa nini unataka endo ambie mdosi wako like aje, okay, nachiki salary yangu umenipatia hii salo, lakini sasa na need uniongeze entertainment allowance, I need to be entertained. Atakuuliza for me to entertain you. The same way, we, the taxpayers, are the bosses. Why are we entertaining our employees? I don't know. But now, mother, of course, usifikirie facelift, it has nothing to do with a facelift. It's just a corruption opportunity. People, the president's friend plus the president are trying to make a killing. There's nothing here about repairing. So mother amekuwa akiwork for Gava for 20 years. Started working most probably siku za anaitwa nani Kibaki. So she's been working on first floor, she's disabled, and I'm in the 8th floor. Kasema ekonene siendis. Now the sad thing about it is now she has to sleep in the office to make sure that they don't disrupt everything. But don't forget, the president is a Christian and he cares about the disabled. Sindio? Okay, sawa. Acha tuendelee.
Phyllis Anyango Ouko ambaye anafanya kazi katika afisi ya katibu wa usimamizi katika Wizara ya Usalama wa Kitaifa amesalia kulala katika ofisi hiyo na amekataa kuhamia kutoka ghorofa ya kwanza hadi ya 8. Phyllis ambaye ni mlemavu anatumia gari la magurudumu anasema ataathirika pakubwa endapo atalazimishwa kuingia katika afisi iliyoko katika ghorofa ya 8. Hem, tuangalie taarifa ifuatayo.
Phyllis Anyango Ouko ambaye amefanya kazi kwa serikali kwa miaka 20 analazimika kukaa katika mazingira kama haya. Shughuli za ujenzi zikiendelea nje ya afisi yake. Afisi yake tu ndio imesalia huku, hizo zingine katika ghorofa ya kwanza ya jumbe la Harambee zikivunjwa kwa shughuli za ukarabati na ujenzi.
Yeah, of course, ukarabati na ujenzi ni vile nasema. If like we were to go through everything that's being repaired, you'll find a lot of nonsense and a lot of very expensive seats zinaenda kuletwa, very expensive decorations. And don't forget, as I keep saying, like, this is a country that needs that money. Like, mi ukiniuliza, we'd be expanding Kenyatta National Hospital. I've been there. We'd be buying beds. People share beds in Kenyan public hospitals. That we have things that are more urgent than this nonsense. Like me personally, if you had to ask me, I'd repair prisons and I'd make prisons be more humane before I repaired Harambee House. But that's just me. Najua.
When I leave, nakwambia this thing can fall anytime.
No, let me.
When I leave, they come in. It doesn't matter.
Phyllis ambaye ni katibu wa masuala ya usimamizi katika Wizara wa Usalama wa Kitaifa ametakiwa kuhamia ghorofa ya 8 ili kuruhusu shughuli za ukarabati kuendelea.
The head of service wants the entire floor to himself, including my office.
Naskeyo, that's a public official who wants a whole floor to themselves. A public official. Public service should be somewhere where you don't go for luxuries and you don't go for comfort. You go for what are you delivering. But tulianza gai nonsense ya muheshimiwa this, muheshimiwa that, muheshimiwa this, muheshimiwa that, and we ended up worshipping politicians, and with that now we've ended up with this nonsense, and it's nonsense that I don't know if we'll ever be able to solve. So kulikuwa na stories za mother, but as this was happening, there was another story niliona, and his story remind true that this can only happen in a third world country. And what I'm talking about is kuna vile Kalonzo alikuwa na press conference. Alafu this is what Kalonzo alisema. Alisema we are aware of a cargo of 25,000 metric tons of sugar that have landed in our port of Mombasa. These 25,000 metric tons of sugar are already on their way to Western Kenya Sugar Factory to be repackaged and sold to unsuspecting Kenyans. This cargo has already been declared from its port of origin unfit for human public consumption. Yet the Ruto regime has quickly cleared it. What kind of man is this? What kind of a regime is this that puts their own reprehensible needs before that of the public's well-being? We demand that this consignment, already earmarked to be publicly condemned and destroyed as it is unfit for human consumption, ama for public consumption. I think that's what konamanisha human, because even private consumption itakuwa tricky. So, in story too inaweza happen in a third world country. A third world country is the only sort of country where a president can be accused of importing contaminated sugar, and it's every day, like it's just a random Tuesday ama a random Wednesday. Check you, like a president has been accused of importing contaminated sugar, and I think this is the same sugar that I think was cleared ama ilikuwa ni there was another gazette notice that was going round, and the gazette notice was about vitu kuingia tax free. I think that was maybe rice now. So these people are in business, and I don't even know how to look at this. But to go back to history ya Shuge, the fact that the president does not even feel the need to address this story and come out and be like, you know what, hakuna Shuge yote imekam, isn't stories za jaba, isn't stories za what, shows you the way hii country inakuaga, and itakuwa hard kuchange hii country. And I think that a lot of people who feel like it's going to be simple are jokers. Because like one of the things, if you want to see how much the president is above the law, you'd have to look at right now another thing that has happened. And the thing that has happened is Nini, Ruto, mtoi wa Ruto majuzi alibai ma3. Hii ma3 inaitwa ni mood or something like that. And people have already started sharing the way that matatu is in a break rules. Yes, so I remember like seeing this video where the matatu is just in the middle of town and just decides to kuruka tu kwa pavement, alafu inafanya zile vitu itafanya. And okay, this specifically one was not mood, I think yako nyingine inaitwa matrix. So hii matrix iko katikati ya tao, alafu inaruka tu kwa pavement, and there's no one who can stop this. It belongs to the president's son. So if it belongs to the president's son, it's above the law. And try and imagine, if the president's son is above the law, what does that say about the president? And this is the sort of society that we've created. If you look at more civilized societies, uangalia the South Koreas, the former presidents wako jela. Like huwa kunaga kucheka, hakuna mtu anajali sijui ni nani ama nani. You're still a citizen, and as a citizen you have to play by the rules. And the reason why I talk about this is so that people can understand. Kwa nini wewe saizi ukipigwa simu ambapo uende uishi South Korea, utaenda immediately? But ukiwa hapa Kenya uko tuheshimu rais, hatuwezi kuheshimu kama uheshimu sheria. The country will outlive us all. Najua hata kuna kuongea stories that if we destroy the country, where will we go? If we destroy the country, we destroy ourselves. But the country itself, the borders and what, that one will continue living. Sisi ndio tutakuwa hatuko. So kulikuwa na hiyo video. But sasa tukikam back to history ya nini? Ya Buda anaitwa nani? History ya the Gazette and what had happened. Ilikuwa ni the East Africa Community Customs Management Act, 28th of July. Ilikuwa, it's notified for the general information of the public trust, East African community, that the National Treasury Economic Planning, upon recommendation by the Cabinet Secretary for Agriculture, Livestock Development, directs that 500,000 metric tons of grade 1 milled rice be imported into Kenya duty free. Take it. All this is business. For these people, Kenya is a business. Kenya is a place where they try to make the maximum profit possible. And I don't know, man. I don't know if there's anything we can do about it. That's one thing I don't know about. But Kenya is a business. And since it's a business, and then majuzi tulikuwa tumejidanganya, tunatry kurecall umadha anaitwa Pasaris. And Ubuda anaitwa Ethicon akama to bring to the ground super fast. So Ethicon end up ametetea IEBC. Akasema that IEBC hands are tied ikikam to stories are recalling MPs. So ilikuwa Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission. The Constitution demands fairness, equity and respect for legitimate expectations. The Commission's decision on this matter was fully compliant with these constitutional principles. Alafu kaendelea, the right to recall members of parliament and county assemblies. The right of citizens to recall elected representatives is enshrined under Article 104 of the Constitution. The Commission stands ready to facilitate this process without fear, favor or hindrance in accordance to the law. Then akasema kuna right ya the members MCAs, a statutory framework is in place and the Commission is actively processing petitions for recall where validly submitted. Then kaka members of parliament and the Senate, there is currently no enabling legislation defining the grounds and procedures for recall. So this is how Nali alijitetea that kwa constitution there is nowhere where history ya recall imewekwa. So of course when this came out, a lot of people were angry, and I'm one of the people, because I was like, if there's a way to call MCAs, recall MCAs, there has to be a way to recall MPs, and if it's not, they were elected on the same day, so it has to be the same procedure. It can't be like it's different from what but mi of course ile time nilikuwa nateta kwa keja nikikaskas vitu, kuna vile udem anaitwa Shakira, hao waliendapo wameenda kuvisit IEBC. Yes, so vile walienda kuvisit IEBC, they ended up meeting umse anaitwa Ethekon, and Ethekon was able to maybe explain to them. Wacha tuone kile Shakira alikuwa ameandika, alafu tuone kunaendaje. So Shakira alikuwa ameandika, we are working and we are going to see it through to the end. This afternoon we had delivered letters to the IEBC, Senate and National Assembly with an urgent demand for IEBC to act on the recall petition against Honorable Esther Passaris, for Parliament and Senate to immediately initiate legislative reforms around public accountability. As fate would have it, we caught IEBC Chair Erastus at the door on his way out. We requested a sit down and he agreed. He walked us through the legal loophole tying IEBC's hands and advised us to invoke the courts to issue the necessary directive. So this is good, because now it's up to the courts to tell us, like, how do we recall these people? Because for a very long time we've known that we can recall MPs. This is the first time that we're being told that the only people we can recall are MCAs. We can't recall MPs and we can't recall the senators. And of course, this omission was not by mistake. They omitted this because they knew they were not going to work for the people. They only work for the executive. Then akaendelea akasema nini, he also reaffirmed the board's commitment to execute its mandate once that hurdle is cleared. We'll stay vigilant. Huyu sasa tuko na namba yake, akicheza kwa kazi tutamsalimia. Then akaeka the letter that they had delivered to the IEBC chairperson, alafu on top of that pia akaeka picha yao wakiwa na Ethekon. So I think hapa ni place nafaa kutoa zile za Ian, zile where we are hoping that Ethekon atakuwa ethical and yes, atabaki amefanya the right thing. And the right thing is Kenyans have decided they want to recall Esther Passaris, and it's time for you to give us that chance. Don't tell us that it's only MCAs that can be recalled, because the people need to feel like they still have a voice, and the people need to feel like the constitution was not changed in vain, and we can still do one or two things. So yeah, that's another story ile tutafuatilia, alafu tubaki tumecheck kunaendaje. But yeah, kama kawaida, another good morning. Amka, enda kazini, tafuta pesa, ndio pesa yako ibaki imetumika kuripea maybe State House again, ama ofisi ya Ruto ile kwa State House, ama waripea choo, I don't know, they'll have something to repair. Usijali. Kwa huko Kenyatta House na mnashare kitanda, sijali man, we have more urgent matters. The president needs to be in an office that feels presidential. Eko nene.